You're the living testament that you can follow your passion and do better than following a traditional route.
Right.
How can someone who was a school teacher with 2 extra jobs to make ends meet is now making more money, teaching pole, traveling all over the world, going to different studios as a guest teacher, making more money than having a traditional job? Hello, change makers. Welcome back to my channel. It's Julia Chai, and I have a very special guest today. It's Ariel. She is a pole dancer based in Nashville, a social media influencer, an international pole teacher, not only through her online platform where you can take classes with her anywhere in this world. She also hosts retreats all over the world, and she just came back from Bali. I want you to welcome Ariel, as she has so many insights of how you can go from the good girl to the bad bee, to show you that there are nuances of going from the good girl to the bad bee. It's not like a black and white situation. It's a gray zone. So obviously Ariel, being able to do what she does, she's already a pretty established bad bee, but she just found that there's some areas of being the good girl, which is the reason why she came and worked with me. And today she's going to share her journey so you can see what's possible for you. Thank you so much for coming here, Ariel. Thank you for your time in your busy schedule to make time for our audience today.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure. I was looking back at the videos that first attracted me to you and that I saved initially. And a lot of it had to do with the subconscious programming that you talked about. So like you said, it is nuanced. It's not black and white. I made the decision to do this full time in 2020. And I knew that my talent was not the issue because I had the evidence, I had the clients, I had the demand, but something was blocking me from going to the next level and from reaching the goals that I had set for myself, especially financially. And so when I came across your content and you were really speaking about the subconscious programming, especially the patriarchal conditioning that we all have, I knew I had to work with you. So that for me was the biggest issue and block that I had. You spoke in the very first video that I saved that you did, you talked about how a bad bee is non-committal. You gave the example about not being loyal to a job that isn't rewarding you or promoting you. And I thought back to my days as a school teacher when I would stay in these very inhumane work environments, you know? And so I thought, okay, well, it's not something that I'm consciously aware of, but I still have these beliefs inside of me. And so they must be blocking me from my business. And I did realize that I was over functioning. I didn't have a strategy. So I was trying to please everyone and do every kind of offer. And I still had those old beliefs, unfortunately, that I couldn't fully provide for myself.
Did you feel that the good girl part that needed to become the bad bee within you was more financial? Would you say that was financial? Yeah.
Yes. And in terms of, you talk about seeing yourself as a leader. And there was one where you said the bad bee is very comfortable taking care of herself. She is a capitalist. And she's comfortable earning. And that really resonated with me because I think, especially when you're working in a service-based position and when you're working with women, you want to give. And I've been trained to give. And as a school teacher, that was a huge part of my job. And that was a big expectation. But you helped me really see that the value of what I'm able to provide is so great and that there's nothing wrong attaching a fee to that value. I believe teaching is one of the greatest gifts that a person can have and share with others. And it's just a testament to that actually what I did was I took my skills that I used in the classroom, all of that knowledge, and I applied it to a different industry or a different topic, let's say. So I went from, you know, the traditional classroom to teaching pole, and I took that skill set with me, and now I'm able to do it full time. So it's just a testament to the fact that all educators, all teachers, all leaders in that field deserve to be paid more. These skills are invaluable to actually transmit information and transform someone. All I did was I changed what I was teaching, but I retained the same skills.
Any aspiring pole teachers watching this, Ariel trains teachers. And if you want to be an international traveling teacher making full-time living teaching pole, you have to learn from someone who already has the outcome. She's teaching internationally, just came back from Bali. So if you want to have a lifestyle pole business, then she's the one that you should learn the teacher training from. So much value, not only from knowledge, but lived experience. Being in a classroom, how to organize your students, because teaching is not just about being good at some tricks.
No.
Being good at dancing yourself, that's not what teaching is about. It requires a new level of competency.
It's an art and it's a human process. It's not linear. So you can't just stand at the front of the room and demonstrate a trick or go through a routine and that's it. It's not a linear start to finish process. You're working with humans who have different backgrounds, different experiences, different skill levels. You have to be able to do the relational work and to actually go to your students, observe them, and be able to deliver through your expertise and knowledge the exact piece of feedback that they need to get to the next level and help them unlock it. It's not a one-size-fits-all process, very relational process. And so there are skills that you can learn. We call it professional development in the educational world. And a lot of the skills that I use today came from veteran teachers who taught. All I'm doing is offering that training to other people who are interested in taking their careers to the next level.
Well, Ariel, you embody many of the qualities of what a bad B is and how I would describe who the good girl is and how she needs to transform into the bad B, and your life significantly becomes happier, more fulfilling, abundant, right? You're using pole to transform people's lives. It has to be your thing. You have to love it so much that you're showing up for all the time. And that's part of being the bad B, is that ambition is the catalyst.
Yes, I am ambitious, but I'm, I think it's a little bit more quiet. I fully believe in my abilities. And I have always believed in my abilities since the very first time. I think the professionalism has always been something that I had, but you really helped me take it to the bad B level.
Yes.
And start like underselling myself, undervaluing myself.
Yes.
Because as teachers, you're trained to do that.
Yeah.
You're trained to accept a low salary because you're doing it for the good of the community.
Right.
And now I'm also doing it for the good of the community. But again, it just, the professionalism is really important. And the mindset that you helped me develop, the bad B mindset is now, unapologetic about that professionalism. I started teaching at 22 years old. And actually, everyone around me thought I was going to quit within 6 months.
Pole?
Teaching.
Teaching. School teaching, yeah.
And a lot of people tried to tell me not to do what I'm doing now, and not to leave the classroom, and not to do pole full time, and would try to convince me that I would not be able to support myself. But I fully believe in my gifts and my abilities, and I see a need for this. That's the thing. There is a need. People want this. People
told you that you're going to quit teaching, which is a regular 9 to 5, which, is mind-boggling why people would even do that. In the most traditional route a woman can go is to go into teaching, right? But people will still tell you you can't do something. For what reason? We don't have to know why. They just do. And then when you wanted to do pole and you were segueing into this, people still told you that you couldn't do it. What would have happened if Ariel listened to those voices? We wouldn't have this international pole teacher transforming these people's lives.
If I listened to those voices, I think I would be underperforming and not adding as much value as I could to this world. I think everybody would not be having as much fun, because we have so much fun at my retreats and in my events. And it would just be a bummer if we didn't have that. But I don't listen to when people tell me I can't do things, because I feel that that's a reflection on the fact that they couldn't imagine themselves doing it. So I never pay attention to that, because they don't have the skills and knowledge that I have. So of course they can't see it happening.
Right.
They have not, when I received that feedback about don't do this full time, stay in the classroom, those people weren't teaching the private lessons. They weren't doing my classes. They didn't experience the feedback that I was receiving from people. So of course they couldn't imagine that this would be something that I could do full time. But the transformations that people are undergoing when they work with me are really, really incredible. I find that a lot of my clients develop, first of all, a new attitude towards learning, which is really wonderful to see. So their self-concept changes. A lot of times when people are trying out dance, they'll say things like, I've never been that coordinated. I can't do that. It just looks kind of silly when I do it. And I help them change their language around it and change their self-concept to, I can learn how to do this. I can learn how to be graceful. Every time I practice, I get a little bit better. And so I find that a lot of my clients tell me that not only are they open-minded to learning the dance, but now they're open-minded to learning other things that they want to improve about themselves.
This is growth mindset.
Yes.
I've made this parallel before, how you transform people through the experience of learning pole is like a segment of the good girl to the bad B journey. How you're taking people who feel disempowered, who may not see themselves in a positive light, you're helping them embody growth mindset, elegance, which is another bad B quality, growth mindset, which is another one, and giving them a community so they can grow and thrive. Tell us more about embodying that elegance, because your program is pure elegance.
I believe that everybody would like to see themselves as graceful and elegant. I haven't met one person who wouldn't want to have that quality. Just like anything in life, there's a technique to it. Once I teach them the techniques and they start to see themselves as graceful and they start to see that reflection in the mirror, their whole confidence changes. Their whole attitude towards themselves changes, and they start to see themselves in a different light. Elegance is a really beautiful thing because we're slowing down and we're enjoying, rushing through everything. And so not only do they start to experience that in dance, but then in other parts of their life as well. It's a really beautiful thing to help somebody see their own beauty. Because really with every client that I've ever worked with, I can see their beauty sometimes before they do. And then just giving them the tools to express what's already inside of them, but maybe nobody ever showed them how. Very similar to makeup, right? You want to apply makeup to feel beautiful and create a look. But if you don't know the technique, you could have all the desire in the world to feel beautiful, but it's not going to translate. And so I just help people translate their desires into reality, what I already saw when they walked in.
Right. And when they embody that elegance, their whole life changes, how they deal with people, who they allow into their life. It helps them have better boundaries. It helps them become more focused on the things that matter to them, right? You're giving them a whole lifestyle change, aren't you?
Yes. So I just spoke with two of my clients. One this morning, we had coffee, and last night we had a quick dinner, and just talking about putting yourself first and creating your own beautiful life. So you want to have beautiful experiences when you're dancing, and then you want to have beautiful experiences when the class stops.
Right.
You want to create that feeling as much as you can in your life. And so really identifying what is important to you, what makes you feel good, what makes you feel like an elegant, beautiful person, and just really protecting your energy so that you can create that lifestyle for yourself. And then, we do get into talking about boundaries and standards and aligning yourself with people who are helping you reach your goals in life, and designing your dream life as one that's elegant and beautiful.
Which you are living. You are living so many people's dream right now. Through your own embodiment and conduct, you're showing people how to deal with some of the big challenges that come with living our ambition, which is dealing with a lot of negativity, because you are a social media influencer. You have a thriving YouTube channel, you have a very thriving Instagram and TikTok. And because of the nature of pole and people's certain ideas about pole, you invite a lot of comments. I will put some of that screenshot here so people can see. I don't want to repeat anything. The comments I was reading through one of your most viral videos on Instagram, I was appalled by the kinds of comments that people leave. Who are these people, right? I don't know anyone like that personally, but obviously this is the majority of the world. And I could see that a lot of people who are in that good girl mindset, it will completely stop them, right? It will freeze them from doing their life's work. And so if you could share dealing with negativity, how do you do that?
Pole is very triggering for people.
Yeah, I saw that.
Seeing someone embody their sensuality is very triggering for people because they themselves would never feel comfortable doing that. So I understand that, and it does not offend me or bother me. As part of my pure elegance lifestyle, I don't engage with haters. I don't spend time convincing people because I know for a fact, Julia, that if any of these people ever attended one of my events or classes, they would respect what I'm doing. The talent and the expertise is there. It's undeniable. I just feel sorry for them that they are not having fun.
I always say that a pro recognizes a pro. It doesn't matter what industry it is. A Bad B recognizes a Bad B. I don't have knowledge in pole, but when I met you and I felt the competency, I was like, let's work together, right? Instant respect as a professional.
Right.
We don't have to understand an industry to respect somebody who's a professional, because competency and ambition, their professionalism will speak for itself.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're saying, is that you focus on that.
Right. And I have had, you know, for example, when I have done bachelorette parties in the past, which I absolutely love, it's so much fun. But, you know, not everybody who attends the party wants to come to a pole class.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They're just there for the group. And so they're thinking, you know, this isn't really something I would sign up for. This is making me uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of it, they're having a blast because it is a safe and nurturing and fun environment to start tapping into something within yourself. And when you're a skilled instructor, you can meet those people's needs. And like I said, somebody being upset and commenting negatively about me, you know, doing something for 20 seconds, that's their problem.
Yes.
So the majority of the time I ignore it. If it seems a little aggressive and it's like going to affect, you know, my followers, I don't want them seeing it, I'll delete it or block that person. But I know for a fact, if they were actually in the room with me, they would be having a good time. So for that reason, I don't worry about it.
Keyboard warriors are the biggest cowards. They will never, ever say it to your face in person.
Of course not.
Right.
But you can't let it bother you because those people are not the ones signing up for class anyway.
Right.
So I don't take, you know, advice or input from people who aren't actively signing up for class. And I recognize that there's a lot of trolls out there, and that is their, you know, their job is to troll, and I let them have it if they so choose.
If they don't pay your bills, don't you worry about it. Next.
Right. It just boosts your algorithm.
Exactly. So. Use it for your own good. Boost your algorithm, because algorithm doesn't care. If people are commenting, it's going to boost. It's going to put it in front of more people. So that's wonderful. Any other golden nuggets of wisdom for anyone wanting to go from the good girl to bad B, wanting to succeed as an entrepreneur, an influencer in their calling?
One of my biggest beliefs is to be open to receiving help. So my advice is to hire someone, to get the book, to watch the YouTube, and then to take action. Everywhere I've gotten in my life, and I've gone through several transformations, one that we didn't touch on today, but I sought out advice from someone who was ahead of me, and I implemented it. And I don't judge the source. If the advice is useful and it's going to improve my life, I will go ahead and apply it. And I'm very, very open to receiving.
every successful person's advice is to seek help. Don't try to fix it yourself. I would say that's also how I got to where I am. We have to be open to receiving help to up level faster, because we're trying to figure out, not knowing how to get somewhere in our own heads, of not knowing how to get to that place, or not yet having the mindset of creating certain kind of result, right?
Right. Especially with all the conditioning, I think, that we receive in a society that has a lot of unhealthy pieces to it, patriarchy, everything else. If the map is incorrect, you can't spend time forcing the map to suddenly give you the directions that you need.
Absolutely.
So it's better to just throw it out and get a new one from somebody who knows where they're going.
Thank you so much for taking your time to be here, Ariel.
Thank you. I appreciate you. And thank you for having me today. It was a lot of fun.